What's up, y'all? Hope you're having a good day. It's your boy Diego, and today I'm gonna do a review on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. This film is a 2003 film directed by Marcus Nispel and produced by Michael Bay. So yeah, let's watch the trailer and get into this one, y'all.
I did all my best to survive.
Tell me how much you love me.
How much?
That much.
That much?
This much.
That much.
Here I am, waiting to.
Hey, are you okay?
They're all dead. The dead man.
We're gonna have to call the cops, I guess. Excuse me!
What the hell was that?
What?
I just saw something.
Alright, that's it. If somebody's out there, just come on out!
What is that?
The hitchhiker.
What were they all doing here?
What the hell are you doing in my house?
You're gonna die.
Who's killing who?
What's wrong with you people?
Oh, my.
What's up, y'all? We're back in this world of Cinematics. It's your boy Diego once again, bringing y'all the craziest, most disgusting, sinister, evil, maniacal horror film reviews ever done, and quite brutally honest, quite fascinatingly captivating, as I let y'all into the mind of a psychopath. And we're back again with a slasher, you know what I'm saying? So this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the remake of the original 1974 movie. Yeah, the original was just an amazing movie for me. It scared the shit out of me, to be honest. And that's saying something, because movies don't typically do that to me anymore. But yeah, the original had the vibe down. It had that grainy 70s picture. The feel was there. But yeah, this is the remake, 2003 remake by Marcus Nispel, I believe his name is. He's also the guy who directed the Friday the 13th remake that I did on this channel not too long ago. So, yeah, Marcus Nispel. Michael Bay also helped produce that Friday remake as well, and he's also a producer on this film. So, just interesting. Michael Bay and his company at the time, they were doing a whole series of different horror movie remakes in the early 2000s to, I guess, 2010, when he did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which was just disgusting and terrible and makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. But Yeah, let's never mention that thing again. But yeah, Michael Bay, he did these remakes in the 2000s. I don't know why. I think some of them were pretty good. Like this Texas Chainsaw Massacre one wasn't bad, but definitely wasn't my favorite. And I'll get into that later. I actually preferred the Friday remake over this one. So yeah, as I mentioned, directed by Marcus Nispel and produced by Michael Bay, or he's one of the ones that helped produce it. And he did it through his company called Platinum Dunes. Sorry, I was just looking for the name of this company. This company specializes in remaking classic horror films. So I'm guessing it's shut down now, but at one point, Platinum Dunes was associated with making horror remakes in the 2000s. Yeah, so the film was produced by Michael Bay, as I was saying. It's written by, Toby Hooper and Kim Henkel. These are the people that wrote the first movie, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The remake is also written by Scott Kalsar. Now, I don't know if he wrote the original as well, but I know Kim Henkel and Toby Hooper definitely did. Toby Hooper directed the original as well. It's really his film, his baby. Yeah, that's the original. A much better film, in my opinion. Anyways, yeah, now we'll get to the cast here. We'll start off with Pepper. Pepper is really gorgeous in the film, played by Erica Learson. Yeah, just a really gorgeous girl. She's really scared in this film. At the beginning, she's making out with this dude Andy, pretty sure his name is, and I'll introduce him next. His name's Andy in the film. Sorry, his actor's name is Mike Vogel. Now Andy is kind of just like a chill guy, but he's down to get into some action if need be. Mostly all these guys are in the van in this film. Next up we got Kemper, played by Eric Balfour. I thought his character was good. He's kind of just like a happy country guy, whatever, taking his girlfriend along for a ride. Next we got Morgan, played by Jonathan Tucker. Now I think Morgan, this is the guy that was made to be, the annoying guy in the first film. Can kind of see that, but really in this film they didn't really go that direction. So there is some key differences. Like they didn't have this guy Morgan in a wheelchair in this film, things like that. But it's an interesting plot as well. Again, weed is involved, which is funny because every time Mark Nispel directs a movie, he's got to throw a bit of kush or a bit of ganja in there somewhere. Just kind of funny. Yeah, that's Morgan in this film, played by Jonathan Tucker, just kind of a stoner guy. And then we get to the main character, main protagonist of the film, I'd say Erin, played by Jessica Biel. Now, Jessica Biel's just amazing in this film. Really thought she was one of the best parts about it. If nothing else was good about this film, if they butchered the remake, at least she was looking gorgeous and she was really hot. Yeah, she's showing her tits. Well, not showing her tits directly, but they're popping out, at you throughout the film. I thought her acting was pretty decent. It was convincing enough. She's a scared country girl. Beautiful brunette baddie. She's got kind of a pointy nose, but that's okay. She's just gorgeous. She's perfect. What more can I say? Now, the acting wasn't bad in this thing, but some of the characters felt just kind of dry and out of place. Well, it was just the directing in general and the look of the movie. Anyways, I'll get more into that later. I can't blame the actors too much for trying to do this remake that should have never been done, Yeah. Next up, we got Sheriff Hoyt, played by R. Lee Ermey. Yeah, R. Lee Ermey. So Sheriff Hoyt is basically just this creepy sheriff in the movie, and he is somehow related to, or he's in the family of, these cannibalistic killers, including the old man, the son that smacks people over the head with a club and has a chainsaw. So he's in there. It felt like it was kind of an interesting twist that this guy's actually a sheriff of the town, or is he just cosplaying and he's not actually a sheriff, which is what I thought in my head watching this film. I thought, okay, he's just pretending, because he there's no one out there. No one ever goes out to this part of Texas, but at the same time, how would he get a fucking cop car and all this shit? So maybe he is actually the sheriff out there, which would be wild. He's a cannibal and a serial killer, or part of the family at least. And then next up we got the old man, Old Monty, I guess his name is in the film, played by Terrence Evans. Thought I'd mention him just because, he's a classic character. He was in the first film, I'm pretty sure. Now, they changed the family up a bit in this remake, which, I like how there's different things in remakes, but I don't know, it's just a little confusing. In this film, I feel like the sheriff was kind of just a weird character, but Old Monty felt like he was right at home in this old house that these unsuspecting teenagers walk into to find a fucking cannibal family. But yeah, Old Monty by Terrence Evans. Thought he was really good. Basically an amputee. Probably in real life, I guess he is too. I'm not sure. But yeah, salute to you, sir. You weren't trash. This movie kind of was, honestly. But hey, make your money. It's not terrible. Like I said, it's kind of scary. It's kind of decent, but to be honest, trying to redo the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was just a bad idea. It's too much of a fucking iconic and legendary film. It's too good to try to remake. You're gonna fall fucking flat on your face. And this was a decent attempt, but Marcus Nispel and Michael Bay, I feel like they might just be shilling together for money, and this one just kind of it wasn't that great for me, I'll be honest. But yeah, we'll get to the next character, Leatherface. This is the boy in the family who's kind of a, he's kind of a shy, paranoid, schizophrenic. He's got mental problems, but he's a big big scary guy who's very strong and capable of a lot of things, clearly. And yeah, he wears these masks, made of other people's faces that he's killed, to kind of hide himself and hide how ugly he is not only on the inside, but on the outside as well, because I guess he was born with a birth defect, or he had some type of accidents, I'm not sure. But yeah, the masks are where he gets his name, Leatherface. So he's embroidering these people's faces, or sewing them up somehow and throwing them out over his own. Very interesting, very gory, very sadistic type horror. I love that slasher horror. So he's Leatherface as a character is definitely one of the greatest slasher villains, of all time, in my opinion. So I watched this movie and I thought about doing the review, and I was like, well, I might as well just do it anyways, just because I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, so much. So doing this video, I'm kind of reliving watching the original as well as watching this remake. So it's really great for me. Even though this remake wasn't very good at all, it wasn't the greatest movie I've seen. So I understand the backlash on this one from true horror fans. I'll get into some more interesting bits about the film, and then at the end I'll go over what I basically thought of it, and what I liked, what I didn't like. So yeah, Leatherface, played by Andrew Bryniarski. I guess originally Dolph Lundgren was contacted to play Leatherface, but he declined, to spend time with his family. Dolph Lundgren is hilarious as Leatherface, oh my god. Brett Wagner originally cast, but he was replaced because he was hospitalized with heat stroke on the first day of filming. So he was replaced by Andrew Bryniarski, I don't know. So I guess to achieve Leatherface's stocky build, Bryniarski ate only white bread and brisket, gaining significant weight, and he wore a suit that also added 100 pounds. Yeah, so you can imagine this guy, how much he had to haul around with him and just run around with a chainsaw. It's pretty crazy for the filming of this thing. And yeah, I'll mention as well John Larroquette. He's the voice of the narrator in the original film, and he's also the narrator in this remake. So that's kind of cool. During the screen test, Erica Learson screamed so loudly bystanders in the building called the police, believing someone was being attacked. Yeah, that's actually hilarious, but it's totally believable. In a horror film, even shooting one, you might be scared, you might feel these emotions. So if you let out a real scream, it's probably better for the filming of the movie. But if people are nearby, they might be like, oh, what the fuck is going on, Yeah, the production crew used cow carcasses purchased from slaughterhouse for the slaughterhouse scene, and this reportedly bothered Jessica Biel because she is a vegan. That's kind of funny. Jessica Biel, so gorgeous but so fragile and afraid of meat. The box office success of this film Yeah, it generally received negative reviews from critics, but the film grossed over 107 million on a 9.5 million budget worldwide, leading to a prequel in 2006. So yeah, the prequel is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Now, I haven't watched that one yet, or it's been a while since I have. I can't remember if I've seen it. I mean, I'm willing to say that one might be better than this one because this remake just was so terrible for me. But looking back, it wasn't. But watching this thing was pretty hard for me. I barely got through it. There was extended footage of intestines being ripped out, but it was removed to avoid an NC-17 rating. Excuse me. So yeah, the gore in this film, in these horror films, is always challenging to capture while remaining, playable at a theater, and to get a rating, a decent R rating where you will still make a lot of money, but your film's not rated over the top where it's going to be restricted. So that's always a challenge in horror movies. So I'll just mention the film opened at number 1 in North America with 29.1 million. Enormous debut for a horror film in 2003. Obviously, it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, so people know how scary this movie was from the 70s. They're gonna go see it. It remained the highest grossing film in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise for many years. So yeah, at the time, it shattered all the records in the series of box office records. 29.1 million opening weekend is pretty good. So this film was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to be released in theaters since 1995. The 1995 film released was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it was actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. And before that, when it was originally released in 1995, limited theaters, it was called The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So just some information for you on that film. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm guessing it's ass. So this was Marcus Nispel's feature film directing debut. He previously did music videos for artists like Janet Jackson and George Michael. Yeah, Jessica Biel was great in this thing, as I mentioned. She performed all of these physically demanding scenes herself, and yeah, she really went hard for horror and did her thing for us, for this genre, for this series, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The film was primarily shot in Texas, giving that authentic, real atmosphere instead of using another state. Yeah, the Hewitt house wasn't something that was built for the movie. It was a real farmhouse that, the production crew then went in and fixed up and made it look more evil and more scary. So now I'll mention this. Daniel Pearl, he was the original cinematographer for the original film in 1978. He returned nearly 30 years later to shoot the remake. This makes him one of the few cinematographers to photograph both an original and a remake of a horror classic. So yeah. And yeah, I'll mention Andrew Bryniarski stands 6'5", so he's a big dude, and Leatherface does look scary in this, I'm not gonna lie, but he looks kind of just cheesy and a bit over the top horror, if I'm being honest. Yeah, the remake opens with a documentary narration on the news of, they found this farmhouse with all these corpses, and these kids got tragically murdered. So there's a found footage piece to this movie, but it's kind of lame. I don't think Texas Chainsaw Massacre should have a found footage film made on it. But basically, in the beginning, they're saying that these sheriffs went out there to the original house when they found all these bodies, and they did a videotape going through the house to document what they were seeing. And the beginning of this videotape plays at the beginning and the end of the film, and I think Leatherface totally annihilates these cocksuckers, and reduces them down to brisket for himself and for his family. But yeah, it's just an interesting remake. If you are a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, maybe check it out. I don't know. I'd say only check it out if you're a hardcore, Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan like I am. Really, I knew it was gonna be trash. I knew wasn't gonna like it, but I still went in with a decently positive attitude, and it definitely was entertaining, a little bit enjoyable for me. It's better than nothing, and I think that's the thing we gotta remember as movie fans is, remakes especially, but film and TV can only get so good, and at the end of the day, if we're entertained by it, that's all we really need. So yeah. Now I'll get to the things that I really liked about the film. So I liked Jessica Biel. I liked her acting as Erin, as the main girl, main protagonist. She was hot, she was convincing, she was scared. She's kind of just like a good girl, but she's really, really caring and really wants to help people if they're hurting, or if they need a ride somewhere, or if they're gonna die. She's just really got a big heart in this movie, and she really makes the movie worth watching. I'd say her and maybe some of these other characters, like the sheriff, like the old man, and Leatherface, and this other girl who's so hot, Erica Learson. Yeah. But yeah, those 4 or 5 actors I really enjoyed, and their roles, their characters. Yeah, it was, what else did I like about this thing? Well, I liked how they stuck to the original story mostly. Marcus Nispel and the writers, they kind of changed a few things along the way, like how Buddy was going out there to pick up a pound of weed or something, and he's coming back through Texas on the back roads or the middle of nowhere, so that kind of made sense to me. And just how how they really tried to convince like fright and tension with Leatherface, with him chasing people. It looked pretty good to me in some scenes. How he was torturing this one guy. I won't mention everything, you'll have to see it. And they mostly stuck to the full thing. with Jessica Biel being the main girl who's kind of fighting throughout the whole movie, and she's just a badass. Like Jessica Biel for this movie, she's just such a badass because she comes off as a really strong fighter type who's just does anything to survive. You know, the human instincts to survive, even in women, is strong, and you know, at times they will be like Superman. They will be stronger than guys. They will be faster, if need be, if they have higher survival instincts and that will to survive. You know, anything to survive at this point. So yeah, some of the actors and characters I really liked. The feeling of dread, suspense from Leatherface, and some of these characters, like the women, the old kind of fat lady or the dirty women in the house, in the diner, that had a real life feel, or just a nasty kind of make your skin crawl feel. Had like, oh, these fucking hillbillies are disgusting, selling rotting meat and creepily watching over this baby that's probably not even theirs. Yeah, so some of the characters, the acting, the sense of dread, and then yeah, some of the shots, like the cinematics, if you will, were pretty good. At the end, they made it look good with the rain, with the butcher shop, and with the guy driving the truck. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Oh, and how they didn't stray from the original storyline too much, but still changed a few things and kept it interesting. And now the things I didn't like were, you know, mostly I just feel like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre should never have had a remake done. You know, it's fine they did a few sequels, whatever. I expect most horror movies that do well, they're gonna have sequels, and fans are just gonna want them anyways, you know. Even if the director and no one else, or the original writers, producers, whatever, don't want to do it, which they usually will because they'll see the money's there, but somebody else will either pick it up or you know, the fans will be pissed. So yeah, most horror films that do well are gonna have sequels. Now this remake was just meh. It was okay, but I mean, I don't see it how it could have went very well in the first place. You know what I mean? It's just I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it more realistic, more gory with modern technology, but no, it just turns these classics into Hollywood travesties, in my opinion. So that's the main issue for me. It just never should have been done. But it was done, and now we'll get into the things that were done poorly or incorrectly, if you ask me. Some of the actors I mentioned before were kind of just out of place. They didn't feel like they were really convincing in their acting, or their characters just weren't in place because of the terrible screenplay or directing. And then yeah, I don't like how some of the things in this film were they just didn't look scary enough. Like Leatherface, I thought he could have looked a bit more scary. I felt like he was just this big blob of a guy wearing this shitty costume, and it didn't really look too realistic, you know, if you know what I mean. So there's that for me too. The sheriff kind of came off as corny at times, or he just shouldn't have been there because he was just acting like too much of an asshole, and it wasn't really going anywhere for a long time. Like, if he acted like an asshole and then there was some action, like he shot or killed somebody, it would make more sense. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. So yeah, the main thing, it shouldn't have been done. The second thing, some of the characters and actors just looked out of place. And the third thing, I thought it could have been much more scary, much more gory. Like I said, they do have to stay within limits, within boundaries to get this thing in theaters and get a decent rating on it. Still, I feel like it could have been a little better, a little more gory. But yeah, overall, this thing is going to get a 5 from me, so somewhere right in the middle. You know, I'm not necessarily recommending it. I'm not going to not recommend it to anyone because it's whatever, it's out there. But basically, if you're a horror fan, I'd say it's not really worth the time to watch this one. But if you are a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, definitely go check this one. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this for now. Let me know what y'all thought of this film. Let me know what y'all thought of this video. Are my videos getting better, getting worse? Any advice? Let me know. But yeah, this is your boy Diego in the world of Sinematics. I'm signing off for now. I'll see y'all in the next one. Alright, peace.